Hey sippers, thank you for joining us for Cocktails and Conversation with the Twist. Remember, while we're spilling, grab your cocktail and start sipping.
Thank you for joining us for Cocktails and Conversations with the Twist. Tonight we'll be discussing how to stop attracting the same type and Prince Harry and Meghan leaving the royal palace to become financially independent. But before we move on, tonight we have a very special person who we would like to introduce to you. Join us in welcoming Jason Letman. He is one of the 3 male co-hosts that we've added to our team.
Hey, what's up, sippers? It's an honor to be here. Although I'm more of a drinker, I'm a vibe and I'm excited. I'm ready. Let's go.
We are here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Make sure you are following us on Facebook and Instagram at Cocktails and Conversations. And most importantly, do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss a beat. And sippers, do not forget we still have our Bedazzled flask for sale. Purchase info will be listed in the description box below. Shop now.
So sippers, what makes the spring and summer season great? Yes, you've guessed it, it's sweet tea. So tonight we will be sipping on Hennessy Sweet tea in honor of our very special male co-host. With the spring season slowly approaching, you'll be spending more time outside, possible poolside, or even the backyard. So it's only right to send you off sipping one of the best. Hennessy Sweet tea is a mixture of Hennessy, Grand Marnier, sweet tea, lemonade, and a dash of honey. Oh, you can also top it off with a lemon wedge. Enjoy.
So as we all know, some habits are just meant to be broken, especially the unsuccessful relationship type. You know how your next sometimes just so happens to remind you of your ex? Yeah, you might want to check that. Or unless you just don't mind, failure. But for the sake of the show, I'm just gonna give everyone the benefit of the doubt and assume that we all want to be happy. Which brings us to the question of the day: how to stop attracting the same type.
As for me, advice I would give to anyone to stop attracting the same type is first changing yourself. Because if you're toxic, you're going to attract what you are. And you have to match the person's energy. And if you're a toxic person, you're going to attract toxic people. No one that is at peace with themselves or know themselves is going to get connected to someone that is toxic.
I agree.
For me, like you said, get to know yourself or look at yourself. I also feel like you need to look at your past. You need to go back into your past and deal with whatever issues you have in your, may have happened to you in your past. For example, for me, when I had to do my self-reflection, I had to look at, being hurt in the past by my dad. My father was in and out of my life, and so I noticed that I was attracting men that reminded me of my father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Subconsciously.
Yes.
As for me, I would say that you have to do things that that are out of the norm for you. If you're going to the same places, doing the same things, you're gonna attract the same people. If you used to dating the dope boys, can we be real?
Let's be real.
Right? You used to dating the dope boys, and you up here going to the car show a lot of them.
Yeah.
You gonna get the dope boys from?
Oh, stay away from that. Sorry.
So you want to make sure, that was just an example, sorry you guys, but it really touches home because I remember an ex that I did have, and some of the things that he liked to do, I would find myself going to those same type of events. Mm-hmm. And then when I would meet someone, it's like, it'd be like the same thing. I'm like, why? Yeah. Why is it that this, well, look at where I'm going. I'm going to the same places where my ex used to be at, so it's the same type of people.
Right. Yes, yes.
Well, to piggyback off, I kind of agree with, I feel like he kind of read my cue cards.
What?
But I I think it has a lot to do with the energy that you put out, and on top of what you put out is also the energy that you entertain. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can go out with a positive mindset, you know, on a daily and try to stay positive, but then you allow someone else to come in and kind of like ruin that at times, you know what I mean? So I think you got to be real mindful of the things that you entertain, because, you know, the minute you start to entertain negativity, then it kind of starts to reflect, you know what I mean, who you are. You all right over there? You
I'm good.
It's the Henny.
You know, it got a little Grand Marnier. It's a little too much for me.
It's a lot.
It's mixed with tea. All right, I don't want to get into that. Y'all know already. I'm a drinker, so this really ain't nothing to me, but
No, you know,
for the sake of the show.
you, Jason. Well, even to the girls, there's a Haitian saying. You're not Haitian. You're not Haitian. So the saying is, "Bon pas j'aime pas chier avec bon," meaning, good never find the good, bad never find the bad. How is it that there are? What?
Go ahead.
How is it that I'm gonna use myself as an example? I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm an amazing woman. I really am.
Yes. Okay.
Right? I cook, clean. I'm very educated. I have, you know, make my own money. I'm supportive. I'm the whole nine, right? What is it that I was doing to attract these same type of people? Like, I couldn't put my hands on it. It's like, gosh, I had to go on a fast and say, God, is it me? Like, why is it that these people coming after me? Like,
But I think a lot of times it is you.
It's because you are broken. Although you have those things, those are outer things. Those are outer accomplishments. What's housing on the inside of you? I remember last season you did talk about not having your father in your life. Did that play a part in having that?
I don't think so, because my father, by the grace of God, he came into my life in 2020 now?
Yeah.
So 2018, May 2018. I'm just meeting him, but I got married.
You got to tell that story one day.
And I actually want to bring him on the show.
Oh, that'll be
Okay, that's
great.
amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't think, do you ever feel like it was a lack of having a man in that, like that man, you probably don't see it,
But what type of guy you attracting?
I actually was attracting different guys. It wasn't the same type, but
Okay.
it all boiled down to, it's like, you know, we didn't click. Like, it's either, let me say this. I was attracting everything that I thought I wanted, but I wasn't attracting everything that I needed.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So when did you determine, because sometimes it takes a while to figure out what it is you need, because most of our lives, we focusing on like the things we want.
Yeah.
So like at what point did you realize like, all right, I can go without some of the wants, but these are the things that I need? And did that come like around the time you met your husband, or what?
It sounds cliche, but I'm gonna be honest with you. It was exactly when I met my husband. I went to, and I mentioned this story on air before. When I was in Sebring, Sebring's dead. When I mean dead. Like, they got two Publix. One closed at like 9, the other one closed at 10 o'clock. Right? Bars closed at 1 o'clock in the morning. Nothing to do.
Okay.
So when I was up there, I had time to reflect and think, and all the things that I was telling God that I wanted in a man. God, I want a man to be respectful. I want him to see my vision. I want him to love me despite the days that I don't love myself. I want him to understand me, so on and so forth. My husband was coming up back and forth in Sebring, and then he was doing all the things that I was saying that I want, and one day just kind of clicked. Like,
okay.
But mind you, at this time we weren't dating. He was just being a supportive friend. So it clicked.
But you recognized it. He could have been that person for a long time, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you weren't ready to receive that yet, because, you know, like you were basically focusing more on your wants. And once you started to focus on the things that you needed, then it's like, oh man, it's right here, you know what I mean? Like you had to change your way of like viewing the people that surrounded you, because a lot of times we lose like quote unquote friends during that time when we actually like trying to revolutionize ourselves. Like, all right, listen, in order for me to, like the topic is, you know, in order for us to stop getting the same results, you know, we got to reflect on ourselves first. So
I think it's important. You look at self. You have to change self in order to attract someone different. Like I was mentioning about me, my dad, he was, when I tell you in and out, there was no stability with him. He would be in prison like for a year, get out. Go back to prison, 5 years, get out, go back. That was my whole life. And what I noticed, because I had to seriously reflect, because what I noticed is that I was attracting men who were unavailable. You know, they were emotionally unavailable or afraid of commitment. They'll date you, they'll go out with you or whatever, but just as far as commitment, they were unavailable. And I had to go back and look and say, God, why is it that I'm always in a position where I'm running after the man? I have to call the man and chase the man and do this and do that.
chasing man.
Not in 2020.
Not now,
I'm just
but
saying.
before doing my self-work, that's what was happening. I was always attracting these men that I had to chase, basically. And I had to go back and connect the dots, because I'm thinking I'm picking good men. I got the list, he gotta have this, he gotta have that, and it's checking off. But for some reason, it's not working. So I had to go back and look, and I noticed, I was like, Shay, when you were a little girl, you always had to call your father. He never called us. He never wished us happy birthday. Never. We had to always
Take the initiative.
and say, Daddy, how you doing? When are you going to come see us? Or happy birthday, Daddy. Happy Father's Day, Daddy. But it's never reciprocated. He probably don't even know our birthdays. And so I'm like, I'm meeting men just like that because I'm conditioned to feel like me as a woman that I have to be the one to initiate everything with a man. So once I learned that, I promise you, communication with my dad stopped. That was the first thing. I had to stop speaking to him. And, you know, that caused a rift between us because I'm the one keeping up the relationship. And then with the men in my life, I'm the one keeping up the relationship with them. So once I stopped that with my dad, it's like my mind opened for the other man in my life or whatever. Like, I'm the prize. I'm your daughter. I'm the kid. You need to look after me, you know? And so I feel like for me personally, my past relationships with men were a direct reflection of my relationship with my dad.
Which goes back to what I said about not just the energy that you put out, the energy that you entertain, because I'm pretty sure those guys, they love the fact that they didn't have to like reach out to you. They probably with their homeboys like, look, man, she be blowing me up, man, you know. So I mean, they probably, you know, because initially, guys, we are like the hunters, you know what I mean? Yeah. But then once you start to see a woman like, all right, right, then it's kind of like, oh, all right, I ain't got to do that. I got her. Let me continue to hunt, you know. And
for me too, because it's like, I feel like, oh, I know what to do to get this man. Let me put this on, let me do this, let me go there. And then it's like, I enjoyed the hunt. And once I got the man, like it was a prize. But also men who wanted me, men who were just like all into me, I didn't want them.
You
so
wanted
you
the man that was giving you the...
Yes. It's I still, like, I'm like, Lachey, you got to fix that. You need to want the man that wants you.
Yeah. My mom always said that you always want to love a man. You want to be with a man who loves you more than you love him.
I hear that a lot. I hear that,
hold on,
yes.
wait a minute. Say that again now.
It is said...
Don't look at me like I'm just saying. What?
It is said that you should be with a man who loves you more than you love them.
And why is that? Because how are we supposed to feel about that?
Because women always love than men. They'll go out. And
You think so?
Listen.
The way we love.
Let's say that we're nurturers by nature.
We're nurturers. We're loving. We're caring. We're caressing. We're everything that you could think about. And for men, it's like if you don't love. Come on, let's be real. If you don't love, let's say you dated Shay, right? You like Shay. right? Let's say you like Shay. Like you dated Vanessa, you love Vanessa, right? You dated Primp, you love her. There's a way.
All right, go ahead.
There's a way that you would treat Miss Lachey, Shay Marie, and then there's a way that you would treat Primp. It's different. So at the end of the day, if Primp really wasn't into you 100%, it would behoove her and it would be in her best interest to date you because you love her. It's different. When a man loves you, it's different.
But you saying that that y'all should love less.
No, that's not what
That's
you
not what I said.
Find a man that
Oh,
loves
y'all
you
was ready for
more than you love him. But you could love that person 100%. He could love you 150, but your 100% is going to match his 150. I
don't know how I
personally
feel
feel
about
that
I
way.
feel like, to me, when I think about that, I think about self-preservation. That's the number one goal for life. No matter about love, you finding love. Self, to me, I feel like should come first. Anything that you do should be to preserve yourself.
Well, yeah, that's true.
When
agree
I
with that.
get into another relationship, that's my number one key. I'm not gonna give 100%. You know what I'm saying? Because also when you're giving all of that, you could be attracting the wrong type. Because I know some women who, for example, they will tell a man every detail about their life. I'm like, you got to keep some stuff to yourself.
Because we jot that down, we use that time.
Exactly, and you could be attracting the wrong person who probably wants a woman who's vulnerable, and by you telling all these stories and things that happen, they could find a hole or something. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you can just attract the wrong person by telling everything. Like nobody should know everything about you.
Yeah,
And I feel like your
You don't agree with that?
I'm sorry, you guys.
Ain't tell everybody everything.
Love. And this is what's wrong. No.
From love, because you married already.
Listen, there's a lot of people who married and who ain't in love.
No, how you attract.
Listen
ain't
to
no
what I'm
love when you
saying.
attract
All I'm saying is when you love, this is the problem with people.
Preach.
We have
sit
been
while you
conditioned. Yeah, go ahead. We have been conditioned to think that, okay, the person of the opposite sex is going to hurt us. We got to be on guard. Listen, love is limitless. Love is selfless. I feel like you should love with no limitation. That's when you really,
We
truly.
ain't in love, so you can't
So
tell
you mean to tell
people
me
that
you
ain't
tell
in
your
love.
husband about your past.
Unfortunately, fortunately, I tell my husband everything.
But
I
that's
feel
your
like when it
husband
comes
now.
up,
I'm
not
saying,
gonna just because.
But in the beginning,
yeah, in the beginning.
I don't think you should, because listen, I know a person who has been married for 12 years. That person told that when they were dating, told her husband every detail about her past, the good, the bad, and ugly. And now they're going through it. They're going through, problems in their relationship. Guess what's coming up? Everything that she told him that she told him prior to the relationship, even though that's not who she is today, it's still coming up.
I mean, I feel what you're saying, but I also think it's more so about how you feel about what you're telling that person. Because honestly, I feel like I'm very transparent when I meet people, but it's because everything that I've done in my past, like I've accepted it. You know what I mean? So I don't feel any way about it when I say it. Versus some people, like they may actually still deal with the things that they did in the past, and then when they share that with people, you're on edge because you're like, I hope this never comes up again because I'm still dealing with it personally.
When you've been set free, you've been set
up.
free from it.
Right.
So-
So I think it's easier then. But like I said, and that plays a role in what you entertain. I mean, you can't. It's hard to put stuff out there, like I said, that you haven't accepted yet yourself. It goes back to dealing with self first, and exes and like what we said in the beginning, like when you bring your ex to your current relationship or future relationship, it's like you're still dealing with that, and now you're forcing this new person to deal with it, and you're gonna automatically get the same end results because that that person might have been attracted to you because they saw that brokenness in you. You know what I mean? Like they saw that, and it's funny.
So that's what I'm saying.
Right.
People can see that, and what you speak and say to people, you know, for example, the example that I gave you, the person who was telling this other person all her business before they got married, you know, she wasn't close to her family for whatever reason. So that's that's prey for somebody who's abusive.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with the person. She was telling all of her business, like, you know, I don't talk to this person in my family. I don't do this person in my family. You know, I went through this in my past and this and that. So now this person is like, I'm going to be her everything. And then I'm going to isolate her from her family because she opened her mouth. And I swear, that's exactly what happened. He isolated her from her family and began to abuse her because he saw that she was vulnerable.
But that sounds like she wasn't even ready to be. She was not ready to be a wife because she hasn't dealt with her past. She's still wounded from past relationships. It's certain things that her heart has not been mended, so she wasn't ready for marriage. So that's why he was able to take advantage of her. When I had to go through my whole healing process or getting over, stop attracting the same kind of dudes, because I used to date drug dealers, the scammers. So yes, but thank God they don't even look at me no more.
Good.
If they looking, they not trying, and I appreciate that because it was a time where I was trying to change my life, but the same kind of guys used to try to talk to me, and it was never the good guys. And I was like, what is there something wrong with me that I keep attracting the same kind of person? Like I don't like that anymore, and I want to change, and I feel like I'm changing, but I still haven't dealt with the realness, like the things that I had to go through. Why did I put up with so much? I had to go through that process, and it's a hard process, it's an ugly process, but I had to go through it. Once I got out of it, there's a certain thing I would never go back.
Yes.
I won't even look at the past, and I know that even though my experience with men has not been good, but I don't go into any relationship with baggage. I don't go into any relationship thinking like, oh, man ain't ish. I'm gonna give you that opportunity to show me who you are. So I don't go into any situation broken. So I'm not attracting the same man, because if he even has an ounce of my past or like a resemblance of what I used to deal with, any abusive, manipulative spirit, first of all, I know how to pray. So you can't fool me, and I'm healed. So I don't even attract those kind of people. And if that person come to me, I already point you out, and it's a wrap.
So we can conclude that in order to stop attracting the same type, we got to reflect on us.
Yes.
I think we all agree. Process starts with.
So news reports quickly began to surface that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would be quitting the royal family. It has been stated that the British monarchy is an outdated system whose suffocating protocols would drive any sane person crazy, especially an average girl like Meghan Markle. The Queen's office at Buckingham Palace put out a statement that nothing had yet been finalized. Harry had not warned neither his grandmother nor his father, not even his brother, that he would be making this statement. Allegedly, the Buckingham Palace is disappointed, and the Queen is livid. What are your thoughts on this, T?
I feel torn about this situation. I feel like, on the one hand, maybe she came and maybe impacted him, kind of like changed his mind, because you know women can do that. You know, look at Eve. She affected Adam, right, and made him eat the apple, right? So we do have that effect on men. So I feel like, in a sense, she came and kind of disrupted his normalcy. But that could be a good thing for him.
I was gonna say, it could enlighten him.
Maybe she enlightened him, so it could be a good thing for him. But for the family, it's a bad thing, because they have an order in a way that they do things, and so this is a disruption. I feel like there is some type of racism, you know, with the situation. You know, she's black or mixed, and they have a mixed child, and it's just, this is all different and new for them, so maybe they don't know how to handle things. And I know there's been talk that like they really don't like her. Even the people in the UK, they don't really like her either. Like the tabloids are bashing her, so this is a lot of pressure for her.
I think that we're forgetting who Prince Harry is. Prince Harry was not the person he's a rebel like his mom. Prince Diana did she did the things that the royal family didn't care for, right? Prince Harry was out there, what was it, Africa, dancing it up, and he doesn't do the norm. So let's not forget who Prince Harry is. Honestly, I commend him because there has been, it's no secret that the royal family don't like her. She half black. They don't care for her too much. So at the end of the day, I feel honored. I would feel honored, if that was my husband. He's standing up for me. I think, maybe I'm kind of pushing it a little bit. I'm reaching a little bit, but the way I feel is they probably are showing her, they're treating her wrongfully, and he letting them know, listen, you can't treat my woman like this. All right, well, you know what? If it's because of the money, I'll come from this lineage, I don't want to be a part of this. We can live on our own.
I agree. What's funny is, I don't know, y'all might be too young. Y'all old.
Oh my God.
It's something about this that I can't help but to think about coming to America. I renounce my throne. You know what I mean? Like, he was so willing to give it all up.
For love.
I mean, at the end, she ain't wanting to give it. It was like, nah. Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying? Just the fact that he was willing to do so, it said a lot about how he felt about her. It's like, all right, listen, I love you more than, all of this. And I felt like, that's what I can't help but to think about that.
Yeah, that's a similar situation.
I don't know much about this situation. I really don't care much about this situation because I feel like, but it's good that they're walking away from this because independency. He gets to make his own money. She already got a deal, I think, with Disney for voiceovers. So that's like $1 million deal right there. So
I mean, he was a prince, though.
But Meghan Markle is her.
Right. But if she gonna inherit what he got, I'm not inherit.
But they're walking away from inheritance.
Right. But I mean,
honestly, it's not. They're walking away from it completely because in the blogs they did state that he's still willing to serve his family. They're just not going to reside in the royal palace. I don't think they're completely cutting off everything.
Well, from what I've read, it seems like they're off everything.
They're not taking their money or anything. They're going.
But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, this is not a big deal because they still rich. Like, hello, they ain't out here working a 9 to 5.
Pull up at Chick-fil-A and see the prince.
Go crazy.
See the prince at the window.
But they're supposed to be moving to Canada, right?
I thought it was California.
No.
I don't know why I thought it was California.
No, it's Canada. It's Canada.
It's Canada.
I know there's been a lot of uproar because, people are saying, well, they tired of this whole monarchy and how these things work out for the royal family. Like, this isn't Game of Thrones. Like, just because you born in this family, I mean, you automatically inheriting all these millions and millions of dollars. Like, why are you entitled to this money? So
I do think you don't think it's
That's what
so weird talking about kings and queens and princesses and all. Like, it's just, to me, outdated.
I think it's outdated to us Americans.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we never had that.
Because they probably look at our president. Like, really?
Well, I think everybody looking at our presidency like
yes.
But we were
you gotta get us shut down, man. You can't be talking about
oh yeah, he's about to cut this whole show off right now. Well, honestly, in closing, I'll just say this. I respect Prince Harry. We have to allow people to live their own lives. He's stepping out on his faith and letting it be known that he's going to take care of his woman. How can you be mad at him for that?
That's true. I agree.
That's true, you can. We would love to keep the tea spilling, but unfortunately we're running out of time. But you can keep the conversation going by leaving your comments below and on Facebook and Instagram at Cocktails and Conversations.
Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you on Wednesday at 8 for Cocktails and Conversations with a Twist.
Good night.